With the NBA draft just a few days away and the blockbuster Bradley Beal trade to the Phoenix Suns happening, I wanted to explore a fascinating situation that the Washington Wizards are in. With little to no young star talent on the roster or potential stars on their roster, I wanted to dive into the Washington Wizards and who are lottery pick in the 2023 NBA draft. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. I know I just said Washington had little to no players on their roster with star potential, but there's one player that intrigues me slightly, and that is Johnny Davis, their lottery pick in last year's draft. Johnny Davis was the 10th pick in the 2022 NBA draft. He bounced around in and out of the G League during his rookie year, playing only 28 games for the Washington Wizards, averaging 5.8 points, 1 assist, 2.3 rebounds on 38% shooting from the field and 24% shooting from the three. These numbers were not that impressive at all, but how could they be? Davis, the 6'4" shooting guard, played the same position as Bradley Beal, Washington's star player, so his margin for error was extremely low, or relatively low, on the contrary to other rookies in the lottery. His overall body of work for his rookie season was terrible, but where he showed his top 10 pick potential was in his last 5 games of the season. During that span, he averaged 17, 4, and 5 on 40% shooting. This 5-game stretch was the best combination of games he put together, and is why I still have faith in him. But the Washington Wizards have another draft decision to make as they hold the 8th pick in this year's draft. Here are 3 prospects who I believe that the Washington Wizards should be targeting. In no order, the first prospect I have is Anthony Black, the 6'7" jumbo playmaker who has an exceptional feel for the game. In college, Black averaged 13, 4, and 5 along with 2 steals. He has an all-around game that is very comparable to Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball. Anthony Black has a lot to like about his game, the main one being his excellent positional size, standing at 6'7" and being able to be a primary ball handler. But Black isn't just a primary ball handler, he can also play really well off the ball and on downhill cuts to the basket. Anthony Black may not be a great shooter coming out of the draft, but I have faith that he will develop into at least a league average 3-point shooter due to his strong base and natural shooting motion. Where Black is really coveted is the defensive side of the ball. Like I previously stated, he averaged 2 steals a game in college, which is impressive. He is really good at guarding on the ball, and in my opinion, even better at guarding off the ball, being a pest in passing lanes and being able to help on the weak side. Overall, Black has an almost complete game, and it will warrant a top 10 draft selection come draft night. Next up, I have Cason Wallace. Wallace is a 6'4" freshman from the University of Kentucky, or a guard university, because there's always a Kentucky guard in the draft that succeeds in the NBA, and I believe he is the next one in line. Cason averaged 12, 4, and 4 on 44% shooting from the field and 34% shooting from 3, along with 2 steals per game. Wallace is your prototypical point guard when it comes to size, and me saying that is not a bad thing. I am higher on Cason Wallace than a lot of other draft analysts due to his maturity that he plays with on the floor. When watching his tape from this past season, he looked so poised when running the offense, and though he is not mentioned with Black as a high-level playmaker, I certainly believe he can be a guy in the league who can average 10+ assists in a season. Since I just mentioned Black, who is a guy that many scouts have over Wallace, I would like to note that Wallace is a better 3-point shooter coming out and better on-ball defender, but when it comes to defense, it's like splitting hairs between the two. Speaking of Wallace's defense, he is arguably the best perimeter defender in the draft class, and I just love his aggression that he plays with on that side of the ball. My pro comparison for him would be Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry because of his maturity at that position and age, as well as his defensive intensity and playmaking upside. The last prospect I want to dive into is Baylor guard Keyonte George. In his lone freshman season at Baylor, he averaged 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. George is a unique combo guard who can put it on the floor and can legit score from all 3 levels. He has inefficiency concerns, but coming into the league, I think they are justifiable. During the season, he was tasked with being the primary distributor some nights and others being the primary focal point of the offense. So I think when he is in the league and he is relegated to just one or the other, he'll be able to flourish. I have been saying this for a while now, but I think coming out, Keyonte George reminds me a lot of Jalen Suggs. For somebody who watched Jalen Suggs almost every game in his college career, I see this comparison a lot. From his 6'4" to 6'5" frame to the 3-level scoring potential coming out of college, as well as their ability to be the lead initiator of the offense at a top program, I just see so many comparisons and similarities between the two. In conclusion though, George's all-around game should put him in the conversation for the 8th pick, and since the Bradley Beal trade has happened, I have been intrigued by the Washington Wizards situation when it comes to building the roster, and these 3 players have the right mix of potential as well as skill set that are transferable at the next level. But that's all from me, guys. If you all enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and comment. I'm Shimmy, and I'm out.